Hi guys, welcome to another Good to Evil video. We recently did Chocolate World, but this time, instead of doing Chocolate World, Dom to Brilliant or characters like that, we're actually going to do Snowman Family, Good to Evil. So this is what's by fair rules. We're going to be doing the same rules as what we did to Chocolate World. We're only going to do characters who are seen a lot. We won't be counting many of the teachers, we're just going to be counting most of the characters. And also one more rule, we are going to be placing, if there's any main characters, we might be placing them in the evil, exactly like what we did in the last Chocolate World video. I just stopped the Chocolate World, so yeah, let's get started right into it. So first of all, in our list, we have we have our we have the good, and we have our gold medal of goodness goes to Jean. So Jean is the youngest snowman in the family, and although he might not be he's very unlucky, exactly like what we said with some of the other characters in Snowman Family, but he deserves to be inside the gold medal of good because he's the only person in school who is actually nice in school. Everyone else doesn't really behave in school, but he's the only one who does behave in school. So that's why we put him in good. Right? Now we have our silver medal of goodness, and you might be expected. We're giving it to some of the teachers, like George and Millie. But George, Millie and Kyle. So they're nice teachers. They're one of the best teachers in the school. They're a lot nicer than some of the other teachers who we will be getting into soon. Although they might not be the main teacher like Mason. But they are very nice, and they make fair rules inside the class. They're not like Freddo and teachers like that. Now we move on to our bronze medal of goodness. We give it to Plunsley. He's the dad in the family who actually is an entertainer. He doesn't mess about like what some of the others do, but I mean, he's just an entertainer. He tells stories, he does a lot of funny stuff, and that's why he tends to be put in the bronze medal of good. Anyway, now we have one of the mischief makers, but they are actually who you expect, Braden. So although Braden might be a bit mischief maker, he's really good. He's not just like some other characters like you might think, like for example other snowmen in his family. He's actually the only character in the family who is nice, so that's why we put him here. Anyway, moving on to our next character. Not in Snowman Family. We would like to give it to the one and only we give it to the one we give it to Fat Snowman. We give it to Fat Snowman. So Fat Snowman is one of the teachers. Again, like some other teachers, he's the nice teacher. He's called Fat Snowman because he's basically a round snowman, and he wears a hat. So that's why we put him in good. But he's the only other teacher who is nice in school, because the rest end up in grey, which is our next character. Our next characters are on the grey. So again, there's not many nice people in Snowman Family Town. But we start off with Mason. So Mason is the head teacher in school, and he thinks that for example, in the lunch hall, two friends, Not Sperry and Fastlane, are telling what they have for lunch, and then in fact, he thinks they're talking to him, so then in fact he says, "Don't tell me," which is quite selfish. And I think he did something else to Dizzy. But he is a bit nice, and he's a lot nicer than the other teachers who land soon. Anyway, now we're going to move on to Joseph. So Joseph is another person in the family, and he's the second oldest. But he is placed into him because he's 8 years old. He's 8 years old, and he is one of those characters who doesn't behave properly. He eats crisps in school. He does a lot of other bad stuff. He knows that he's not the youngest. When he pretends that he's the youngest in one of the episodes. What episode was that? Was that Naughty Joseph? No, it wasn't. But yeah. Anyway, now we're going to move on to another character in the Snowman family who is a mischief maker. Darlin, who is the mum. She only cares for Jaden. She just cares for Jaden. She doesn't really care for most other people in the family. She only cares for when Jaden. Like in that episode. What episode was it? High temperature. She only cares for Jaden in that episode. She doesn't care for any person. She doesn't care for any person. She doesn't person. She doesn't person. She doesn't. I did some of those burps I just did. I faked that. But she only cares for Jaden. Doesn't care for anyone else in the family. But as we move on to our next character in the list, we have Squish, who is the pie face thrower. So pie face is the pie face thrower, and you guys might know who the pie face thrower is. He loves throwing pies at people, which isn't a good thing to do. He doesn't really care for people that often, but yeah, that's why we put him in the grey side. And our last grey side character, we have Jaden. Jaden only cares, pretends he's the youngest. He does a lot of mischief stuff in the family, so that's why we put him in grey. But now we're going to move on to the evil. Silver medal of evilness, we give it to Anais. She thinks she's the head teacher. She doesn't need to be in the school. She just cares about herself. But yeah, now we're going to move on to our gold medal of evil. We give it to Penguin. He is so rude to Dizzy. He doesn't want Dizzy talking about stuff. It's just so rude. It's just so rude. He's just a very rude teacher, Mr. Penguin. But anyway, that's all the Snowman family characters. Good to evil. Stay tuned for Wave Swindlers next. We did Chocolate World. We did Snowman family, and now we're doing Wave Swindlers next. So yeah, see you then.